origin of the biceps brachii is the coracoid process of the scapula, and the insertion is the proximal radius.
I'm addicted to it. I flex on my ex every time that she texts me. I'm looking like, hold up.
The biceps brachii flexes the elbow and supinates the forearm. So when we're dancing, we supinate our forearms. And flex. The origin of the brachioradialis is the distal humerus, and the insertion is the base of the styloid process of the radius. The brachioradialis is a synergist of the biceps brachii, so we did the same dance move.
I'm addicted to it. I flex on my ex every time that she texts me. I'm looking like, hold up.
The origin of the triceps brachii is the glenoid cavity of the scapula and the posterior humerus. The insertion is the olecranon process of the ulna, both of which are labeled in the picture.
Triceps brachii is a powerful forearm extender and an antagonist of the biceps brachii. So in our dance move, when we snap, we're powerfully extending our forearms.
The biceps brachii and triceps brachii are antagonists.
The origin of the flexor digitorum is the distal humerus, ulna, and radius, and the insertion is the middle phalanges of the 2nd through 5th fingers. The flexor digitorum flexes the wrist and the middle phalanges of the fingers. So in the drop top, when we flex our wrist, we also flex our fingers.
Here you can see the extensor digitorum labeled as the bright red muscle. The origin of the extensor digitorum is the lateral epicondyle of the humerus. The insertion is in the distal phalanges of the 2nd through 5th fingers.
No, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 M's in my bank account.
The extensor digitorum is a prime mover of finger extension. So in our dance move, when we make the symbol for M's in our bank account, we're extending our fingers.
The extensor digitorum and the flexor digitorum are antagonists. In this picture, the deltoid muscles are labeled by their red coloring. The origin of the deltoid muscle is in the lateral third of the clavicle, in the acromion and spine of the scapula. The insertion of the deltoid muscle is in the deltoid tuberosity of the humerus.
Can't touch this. You can't touch this. You can't touch this.
The deltoid is the prime mover of arm abduction. So in our dance, when we're doing the wave, we're abducting our arm by
In this picture, the extensor carpi radialis is the green muscle. The origin of this muscle is in the lateral humerus, and the insertion is in the 2nd and 3rd metacarpals.
Now watch me, nay. Okay. Now watch me, nay.
The extensor carpi radialis extends and abducts the whip, so when we're doing the reverse whip, we're extending our wrist and abducting it away from the body.
In this picture, the extensor carpi ulnaris is the purple muscle. The origin of this muscle is in the lateral epicondyle of the humerus, and the insertion of this muscle is in the fifth metacarpal.
Don't need do it for me. Now watch me whip. Watch me whip.
And the extender carpi ulnaris extends and adducts the whip, so when we're doing the actual whip, we're extending it towards the body.
The extensor carpi radialis and the extensor carpi ulnaris are antagonists.